Welcome back to The Corner. I want to dive into the topic of communication today, in particular communication with leadership and within leading during this pandemic and during this challenging time. I listened to an incredible podcast by Craig Groeschel. I'm going to link it in the description above or below for you to check out if these things strike a chord with you. But he mentioned three things when it comes to communicating and when it comes to leading during a crisis. The first thing he talks about is communicate with empathy. Empathy, I think, is the biggest game changer when it comes to organizational culture and organizational behavior. And when we start with a strong foundation of empathetic communication, we really set ourselves up for some great success. Now, that being said, in this challenging time, empathy leads to care with your employees. It leads to easing a little bit of the fear and the experience that we're going through with the uncertainty, with the fear of our job, with the fear of our income, with the fear of our family, and the implications this is having. So it's really important that we communicate, that we understand those fears, and we are in it with them. The second thing that's important is communicating honestly and truthfully. And this pandemic has a lot of uncertainty wrapped around it, and if we aren't careful, we can end up breaking this chain of trust by not having honest communication. And sometimes that means saying, I don't know. That's a much better answer than saying, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, and then we're not back tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back in 2 days, and then we're not back. You set up a little broken chain each time you do that, and it kind of sets you up for failure there. The last thing that we need to do is communicate frequently. And it's really important that when we communicate frequently, that we disseminate and digest all the information we've received, and then we deliver it in a digestible way. The last thing we want to do is communicate frequently with a bombardment of information that our employees don't know how to handle. So you need to filter, as a leader, this is your job. You need to filter that information. You need to consolidate it, and you need to communicate it effectively, honestly, with empathy. This is a difficult time, and I know that these strategies can end up playing a huge role in your ability to lead and thrive as we get out of this work from home era, this pandemic, and as we look to move forward in our economy, with our businesses, with our families, with our lives. So I encourage you to check out that podcast if any of those topics speak to you. And I'd be happy to discuss it. I mean, these are things that I think are really important and I value greatly as well. So have a great rest of your week. Stay healthy and stay hopeful, and I'll be back with more. Thanks.